Hello and good morning. Holly Shields here from Kalkine Studio in Sydney, and you're watching the Early Trades, a show where we show you a glimpse of the Australian share market opening trade scene, along with the global and domestic drivers triggering the market momentum. So let's get started. Well, the Aussie share market has advanced in the opening minutes of trade, buoyed by solid gains from iron ore stocks, which are benefiting from a rebound in the price of bulk commodity. The major miners took a strong lead from Wall Street, where their stocks surged. And then on the local markets, Rio Tinto jumped 4.7%, while BHP advanced 3.1%. Then Fortescue rose as well 3%, as Champion Iron added 3.8% and Mineral Resources climbed 2.1%. Then Zero rebounded from yesterday's losses, rising a whopping 4.7%, and Zipco rose as well 3.5% after announcing the completion of its Twisto acquisition. Following a strong week of gains, Chalice Mining retreated 2.5% and A2 Milk dropped a similar 2.4%. The S&P ASX 200 has given up around 1% this week, much of it yesterday. A partial recovery on Thursday afternoon offered the first suggestive dip buyers were entering the market. And then a full week of domestic annual general meetings winds down with updates today from LendLease and Adore Beauty. Then as for IPOs, today brings the biggest float of the week. APM Human Services International, which just listed today, is expected to command a market cap of more than $3 billion, dwarfing SiteMinder's launch on Monday. The Perth-based human resources firm provides disability services, and most of its customers are government agencies. To the dollar now, and it has fallen sharply over the last 2 weeks from above 75.5 US cents at the end of October to below 73 cents overnight. The Aussie was last down 0.6% at 72.89 US cents. And only adding to that, yesterday's weak jobs data contributed to pressure on the currency. And the spot price of iron ore bounced back above the $90 US mark amid reports that China is moving to limit the fallout from debt issues that have plagued its property market. Chinese state-owned media published a series of articles detailing possible measures to manage the issues at Evergrande and other real estate developers. This coincided with reports that Evergrande has once again averted a default, which boosted sentiment, with the iron ore futures in Singapore rising more than 5% and the spot gold price jumping 4.1%. Stocks of property developers in China were up sharply, while the shares in BHP and Rio Tinto on Wall Street bounced. Australian-listed iron ore stocks posted solid gains yesterday. BHP's US-listed stock jumped 5.24%, and its UK-listed stock 3.89% in a positive response to last night's AGM. CEO Mike Henry told shareholders that the miner was continuing to adapt production to shifting global demand for resources. And Rio Tinto gained 4.41% in the US and 3.42% in the UK. The rallies came as iron ore jumped more than 5% and copper almost 2% up as well. Moving on to the newsmakers now, and Zipco has completed its $116 million acquisition of the Central European BNPL player Twisto. It follows Zipco gaining shareholder approval for the deal at Thursday's annual general meeting. And under the terms of this deal, Zip has issued 17.4 million new shares to Twisto shareholders. The Foreign Investment Review Board has confirmed that the Commonwealth Government has no objection to the proposed acquisition of AusNet by Brookfield Asset Management. The implementation of the scheme arrangement between AusNet and Brookfield remains subject to a number of other conditions, including approval of AusNet shareholders and court approval as well. Meanwhile, NIB Holdings has announced that travel insurance sales to Australian and New Zealand residents will resume this month after it secured a new underwriting partner. NIB Travel has partnered with Pacific International Insurance to support its underwriting arrangements. The Australian and New Zealand resident travel insurance sales were paused on the 5th of October this year after NIB Travel's previous underwriting arrangements came to an end. Although travel insurance sales will resume in a phased approach from mid-November this year. And on top of that, Aristocrat Leisure has completed its retail shortfall book build, which forms the final stage of its entitlement offer. The retail component raised around $405 million from the issue of approximately 9.7 million new Aristocrat shares at an offer price of $41.85. Together with the institutional component, which raised $895 million and closed on the 20th of October, Aristocrat has now raised about $1.3 billion. So it's safe to say that things are looking up for the travel and entertainment sectors to come. Well, it's just about all for now on the early morning trades, but stay tuned to Kalkine TV because we have many more shows lined up for you today. Holly Shield signing off.